Hi, so I'm here with Cormac Boylan, who's got a YouTube channel, and we've forced him to come in here and have a tour.
Yes, and I've been very kindly invited down by Phil here at IntroCar and John Tupper as well.
Yeah, so, well, the interesting thing about Cormac, and obviously if you've seen his YouTube channel, it's all pretty cool. He's somebody who's pretty unusual in our industry. He's young, and that's why I wanted him to come down here and just sort of see what goes on down behind the scenes here. And I'll tell you what, could you tell me a little bit about how you got into this? Because you were talking about it before, and it'd be quite good for people watching this to see how you got, where you came from before you were doing the videos. Because you were doing some media work, weren't you?
Yeah, so this first started when I was in education. So academically, I struggled in school. But I started with the BBC when I was 14 on the BBC Schools News Report programme. Then from there, I progressed to WhatCar and Autocar magazine, which is the major car magazine nationally, all around the world, based in Twickenham. And from that, it got me my first job onto community radio, voluntary, unpaid. I was there for 3 years. And then from there, I progressed to many more radio stations. At the age of 20, bought my first Rolls-Royce. And that got me...
Pretty young.
Pretty young. And this is what I'm trying to do, encourage a younger generation of enthusiasts like yourself, me. And so,
I like the fact that he's calling me young. He's already got, like...
That's good, isn't it? So after I bought my first Rolls-Royce, I got the opportunity to write an article in Spirit and Speed magazine, which I'm sure you're all familiar with.
Yeah.
And this was at the time when I was on Nottingham radio as well, which I'm still at. And then I went to college to do a level 2 and level 3 media course, which was the equivalent of 3 A levels, spread out over 3 A levels. So it wasn't media studies, it was the creative media, so behind the scenes, the camera work, the filming, the writing the script. And then I bought my Bentley, then I bought the my second Rolls-Royce, and those articles got published in Spirit and Speed. Then it went into the Sun newspaper, and I was like, I can do well here. And then it went into the Express. I've had all my articles published over the newspapers. And then, I've just been doing it. And the YouTube channel, so that's Cormac on Cars, and it's people like yourself, the companies like yourself, and private individuals who will give me the cars to review.
Cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, no, it's great. Well, I think what I've noticed, and Cormac kind of represents this, this is my opinion anyway, is that there is a younger generation looking at some of these old Rolls-Royce and Bentleys now, really looking at just what it's like to own one, whether it's possible, what you have to do, and I think that's kind of breaking the mold a little bit. And
a lot of it with me is I don't drink and I don't smoke. I don't have a girlfriend, so I can keep that.
That's impossible. You've got to have a girlfriend. You must have a girlfriend.
No, I don't. Genuinely, I don't. I'm fairly older women, but yeah. So I bought my first Rolls at 20. But if you're prepared to work hard, sometimes you got to. If you don't succeed at first, try again. And I did mine first at 20. So yeah.
Well, good for you. Well, we'll give you the tour now, and we'll take you around and see how that goes.
Yes, most definitely. I'd like that a lot. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Cormac.
No, thank you very much.
So basically, what we do here is we buy in quite big volumes. What the advantage of that is that gets us a chance to get our pricing down, and also enables us to go into manufacturers who've got a bit more sort of heft in the marketplace. So down here, you'll see you'll see some of what that means. That basically means a lot of stock.
Look, all these manifolds on here.
Tons of stuff. I mean, we've got seals here. That's a Mark 6, an R-type quarter life seal.
That's a Bentley R-type seal, is it?
Yeah.
I had one of them when I was in America on this recent trip. Yeah, fantastic car.
They
went
are.
off in like 4th gear.
Yeah.
Such a torquey engine,
Yeah. No, they're a lovely car, very drivable.
But the steering's a nightmare on them at low speed. You really rest with it.
Yeah, a lot of people get electric steering on those. So you can kind of see what we're doing here. We don't muck around with volumes. We don't muck around with investment. We put a lot of stuff in, a lot of money into it.
Is it all in like numerical order as well?
So so we've got everything's barcoded here. So everything moved around on handheld terminals through the workshop, through the warehouse, I should say, so that we know exactly where everything is. So we might have different locations for this. So we might have 10 downstairs next to pick, and then these here. So for overflow, we've got another warehouse as well. So, to introduce you to Mo, Mo's our director of quality. So his background came to us from Brompton Bikes, as I said, but actually before that he was with Lotus and McLaren, wasn't it? Yeah. So he's brought a whole other side to our business. He helped us with the design and testing of these head gaskets. You were talking about this on your video about head gaskets blowing on the Arnage.
On my Arnage, yeah. I had a 4.4 twin turbo, which was a green label, and everyone told me to go for a green label because of the head gasket on the red label.
So that's our solution. So we spent 3.5 years designing that. That's designed to get rid of some of the problems that we're having with head gasket failure. So that's an upgrade. That's an inspection sample. So we had 25 of those reports in our first batch there. So
are these for the Arnage R or the red label?
These are for the red label. So you've got the late Arnage R and T had an MLS gasket, metal laminate sheet gasket. This is a composite.
Because the Arnage red labels, they were the twin turbo. The Arnage R's were, I believe, with the single turbo.
No, other way around. Red label single turbo.
Arnage R twin.
Arnage R twin turbo.
That's it.
And the Arnage T. So they had a different gasket. So that one there goes all the way back to the Silver Cloud. That gasket,
oh, wow.
Silver Cloud 2.
All
the way up to
V8
red label.
Not the straight six.
So that's the V8.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So there you go. So we've done some kind of cool stuff. I mean that's a product. Someone sent us that and said, "Can you make that?" And there's the finished product. Do you want to show Cormac on the CAD on that, or maybe you could do the steering gaiter. So we had to design that, put that into CAD, which and then have the tool made from the CAD drawings. We had to use that, figure out what it should be, turn it into a drawing, 3D, make the tool from the 3D, print the 3D, the tool in 3D.
And that's the steering gaiter.
That is an air intake vent.
So that's gone from like this to being manufactured to that. How fabulous is that?
So we did the same thing. Yeah. So there's another example. So that's the one, a sample that we got, and that's the finished prototype. So that's the sort of thing we're doing.
Is it the same material, or is it like a more malleable?
That's actually a polyurethane, because the manufacturing technique suits that material. Originally, that would have been probably natural rubber, I would have thought, which does perish. But you can actually see the 3D model on the screen here.
Is that on computer-aided design?
That's right. So you can actually see what we got to that. That gets sent away and turned into a tool, and then that tool gets used to mould the actual rubbers, and that's a brand new product. So there's the other one.
Oh, fabulous!
And we've got this at the moment that we're working on, which is this one.
Yeah, and that's for the shadows. That's completely unavailable. That's a jacking point seal, and so we're just working on that now, and that'll go off to the tool makers.
Oh, okay.
But Mo's not only. He says he doesn't kind of get into design, but we're forcing him to. So
you got no choice.
So he's it's a small business, so you've just got to do what you've got to do. But Mo's introduced a level of kind of rigor in the design, which has been obviously transformed a lot of what we do. Makes it a lot easier to get our products right, because that's the thing that we really wanted. So this is fabulous. So this is the kind of stuff that we get into, and all of this stuff is work in progress. But that's the thing. I mean, that hasn't been available for probably 20 years.
Oh.
But every car's got them. They're like that.
I can already tell that's much better quality than the original thing as well.
Probably because of the materials that we're
using now. And that's a polyurethane.
That's a polyurethane. The original. I mean, to be fair, that is probably 50 or 60 years old.
Is that off a Shadow?
That's off a Cloud 2 and 3.
Cloud 2 and 3.
So you've got your air intake duct.
Yeah.
And what happens is there's another duct here, and that joins the two, which is why they're a different size. So you've got so that duct is, and obviously, so as the air is coming in, the blower motor is on this side. Actually, it could be wrong. I think the blower motor is on this side, and so that's sucking in the air. But obviously, it's not going to suck the air properly if that's falling to bits.
It will allow all the dirt.
Yeah, and all the
exactly. Up, yeah.
So there's a whole. So the integrity of that's important. That's an anti-fume seal. So when that's gone, you're going to get fumes from the engine bay into the cabin. So that's why you need that. That's around the steering column.
Okay, yeah.
So so
They spheres there.
yeah, that's something we're working on. They're gas springs for the Arnage series.
Oh yeah.
So we're working on those. Work in progress.
That's a district.
So the other thing, obviously, Mo's looking at is when we have product issues, we need to work on those. So yeah.
So does all these parts come off customer cars, or are these parts you bought into then like?
They could be. We could be buying original products. We could be buying second hand. Sometimes we do stuff directly from an engineering drawing. So, so for example, although we've got a sample for that jacking point seal, that's most of the information's come from the original engineering drawing that we've got from the archives.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll take that. That then gets. So we'll take a 2D drawing. You can't do much with that in terms of making a tool or making a product. You need to turn it into 3D. Once you've got a 3D drawing, then you can get into the manufacture.
Right, okay. Yeah.
So, so there's other things here. I mean, so if you look at some of this is some of our core samples. So when we're making a track rod, that goes off to a lab and we're looking for the case hardness on that. So you can actually see, so there's this, and this is a core sample from a batch. It's a little batch number that you can see written on there, which tells us what this has come from.
Okay.
So that when we get a product, we know that it's A, the right material, B, it's been treated properly. So it's not just, you can't just make this stuff out of standard steel.
It's got to be
to be the right steel and it's got to be
to the right thickness.
Yeah. So we do all kinds of things. I mean, that's a water pump that we make from scratch.
That is a water pump, isn't it?
Yeah. So
and then you'd have a belt around there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So that's 1940s car, that one. But yeah, we
off a Rolls or Bentley?
Both. Does both. So yeah, we've done a lot of those. That's a slightly later version of the same thing.
And you got the alternator.
Yep.
Yeah.
If it's on the car,
we'll do it.
We'll do it. So it never stops. It never stops. So you want to see the warehouse, and you'll see what we're really into.
Oh yeah.
This is just playing up here.
This is just playing. Oh, sorry.
That's something else that we've made as well. That's in fact that's a 3D scanned mold. So they're all broken on all that's on all the SZ cars.
Yeah. So that's what would have been like on my Silver Spirit.
Yeah. So yeah, they all break.
Oh, that's good to know, isn't it? If you ever need any parts, IntroCar, you people to go to.
Yeah, that's a core engine. That's going to get rebuilt.
Off an SZ car?
That's an SZ car. That is.
So that looks like a Silver Spirit.
That is. That's actually a Silver Shadow. Silver Shadow. Yeah.
That would have been an SY car then.
It's actually. It should be. It could be an early Spirit. It's got the late Shadow 2. It's a Shadow 2 or early Spirit water pump.
Because the early Spirits with the same engine carried over from the Silver Shadow and the twin SU carburetors. And then the Spirit 2 were fuel injected. On the Series 2.
Yeah.
Look at that engine. And it's an aluminium block, 6.75 litre here.
That is, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Such a big engine, isn't it? That's what powers these beauties.
So there you go. See how strong you are. Continental GT disc.
That's why all the women love me, because I'm so strong. There you go. That's heavy, isn't it? And that's
19 kilos.
That's the Continental GT first gen?
Yeah, first gen.
2004.
2004. I can't remember when they used that. I think at least 2018. Yeah, to 2018 they were using those. So yeah, we do a lot of brake discs and rotors.
It's such a big wheel.
Well, apparently, it's basically the energy going through those when they break is the equivalent of the output of a small power station.
Really?
That's the amount of heat and energy they have to dissipate. That's why they're so big.
They're not carbon ceramics, are
Those aren't the ceramics. No, there's not. Most of them just have the cast iron.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, the latest car, the newest stuff gets the carbon ceramics.
So all kinds of stuff. This is a new project we've just done. This took about. It's not. It's for the SZ car. It's the track rod.
Oh, it's the track rod end, is it? Yeah.
So it's the full track rod, actually, the complete unit. We've made. Well, we haven't got all the stock here, but we had to make 1,000 of these at a time.
These are for your spirits.
Spirits, yeah.
Or your
and
equivalent
all the way up to 1998.
So the late Brooklyn stuff then?
Late Brooklands, but also early spirits use these. But this is a full, there's a whole lot of work in this. The actual inspection sheet on this is about 39 pages.
39 pages?
Just the inspection sheet on these. So there's but and you have to buy them in proper volumes or you don't get them.
So you have to buy in bulk?
Yeah. There's that's a ball joint for an Arnage. So make those.
Is this for any Arnage or?
That is for all of them, yeah.
So green label, Arnage.
Yeah, they're all the same. So that's the kind of thing that we're looking at getting into. We get into a lot.
The attention to detail in that ball joint there. Look at
that. Every aspect of that is quality controlled. Every aspect.
And that's just been designed on CAD. And then
we didn't even need to use CAD with that. We could actually use traditional drawings, engineering drawings on that, because that's not such a that's a relatively nice kind of symmetrical part. You've got you're basically looking at pressings and the ball pin itself, which is a machined part, and then the housing, and then just the rubber gaiter. Those are relatively simple processes. The challenge with that is mainly it's mainly volumes. I mean, you don't get to do this in 50 or 100 at a time. You're into 500 if you're lucky. So you have to buy multi-year stocks. That's how the business kind of works. So you can't just buy a couple of months stock and then replenish.
You've got to buy years in advance.
So and as you can see,
we've got to.
So you're going all the way up. Every single one of these locations might have 3 or 4 different parts in it, maybe more, because there's just so much we're doing here and developing. So literally thousands and thousands of lines. We've been working on this for years.
Batteries here as well. These are nice batteries.
Those are actually, I think they're Phantom batteries. Actually, yeah.
What's a Phantom battery? My favourite car.
So yeah, I mean that's a water pump housing. That's obviously buy those in bulk and then they're assembled. They're assembled in relatively small volumes. There's lots of different.
Is that cast iron?
That is a cast iron, yeah. Yeah.
Heavy, isn't it? It's quality.
Yeah. So yeah, there's you don't get to buy those in small volumes.
Right.
We finished. You saw some of the examples of finished product upstairs.
I did, yeah.
Similar product.
And you got springs and all that.
Coil springs. We do handling kits.
Do you?
For the cars, we do our own handling kit.
Do you do body kits as well?
We don't do body kits.
No.
Not really our kind of our forte. That one.
That's a massive spring. That's
Yeah.
Phantom.
That one there is for. Have a look. That is actually a turbo and turbo R front spring. So you've got
huge, aren't they?
Yeah, they're big.
You don't realise how big the springs are on these cars.
And they weren't worried about weight at that time.
No, that's why they're so heavy. But that's what made them cool.
That's what makes them drive the way they do.
You don't want a car very light because you can't feel it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
That's
20 miles. Oh, yeah, 4.5 litres straight 6.
Yeah. So
this is what I had in the cars when I was in America. So I had an R-Type.
Yeah.
54.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's a fully rebuilt engine with all our own products in it. What we wanted to do is so it's even got a new water pump.
So did this come out like a car that had been obviously?
It's a car that had been dismantled, yeah. And so we fully rebuilt the engine. So it's literally had everything done to it. The whole works using our own product. It's even got a brand new complete clutch on it because we do an upgraded clutch on those.
Still the 4-speed gearbox.
It uses the 4-speed manual. Or some of them did have automatics, but most of them
because
are
mine was on the Collins shift.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah. So.
Anyone want an engine?
Yeah, it's fairly expensive. I think it's about 22.5 grand.
23,460. Yeah.
23,460. That's with the VAT, I think.
VAT.
Yeah. So not cheap.
No.
But
so is that no miles on that one then? Because it's
it's no miles.
No miles.
No miles. Yeah.
Marty.
So basically, the way the warehouse is blocked is that where we started, you're looking at slow moving parts, and as we're getting closer to goods out, you're getting the fast moving stuff. So obviously the pickers are all moving, in this area most of the time. So it keeps us efficient, keeps our pick rate up. But every single one of these is,
Washers and rocker covered bushes there.
Yeah.
You can tell they're polyurethane as well.
No, those are a nitrile.
Oh,
actually,
are they?
yeah. They're a nitrile for that application. But all kinds of stuff. That's actually a subcomponent from one of the water pumps you saw.
Oh no, well, yeah, that's one of the bolts. Yeah.
So
I've been a kid in the sweet shop again, just for Rolls-Royce and Bentley.
we do things like full decoke sets.
Are they the gas struts like on the bonnet?
That's right. Those are. I think they are bonnet struts. Actually, those ones. Yes. Looking at the part number, I think that's right. Yeah.
Gas chunk.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Oh, it's a boot one.
Oh, it's a boot one. Yeah.
Yeah. So we do a big range of those. They're always going.
Fantastic.
So yeah. That is a door seal for a Corniche, and also for some of the coach-built Continental cars.
Is that for all the Corniche models?
That does, up until the very last of them.
Is it for the Bentley Corniches?
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, they use the same body.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of seal work because rubber on old cars is obviously often knackered.
Yeah.
So yeah, So that's, as you can see, carries on all the way up.
This goes on and on and on.
So yeah, literally, don't you don't get hold of this lot of stuff in a few months.
This has been years and years and years built.
Yeah, years and years and years of building the product and
pure passion for the brand.
Well, we have our own brand, which we wanted to kind of Prestige Parts brand, which we wanted to sort of stand for the heritage and for really doing things, not cutting corners.
Mm-hmm.
That was the thing that we really wanted to try and achieve.
You can't cut corners in this, though.
Well, it's not. It doesn't make any sense in our business because actually, the truth is it's low volume, high margin.
Yeah.
So you make a lot of money every time you sell something, but it takes a long time to get your money back.
And also, you want to build that brand name as well.
Yeah.
With these kind of cars.
Yeah, you need to. So we wanted to have a brand that was the alternative to the genuine product, that was supporting the brand, supporting the actual mark, I should say, and that was particularly going to be there when Bentley wasn't supporting it. We'd come along and develop the product.
And because Bentley are pulling out now, aren't they? Supplying these people as of, is it next year?
Well, they're stopping supplying people like us, which is a bit of we're a bit crazy because we're the guys, ourselves and some of our competitors, Flying Spares and so on, are actually, we're the people who are keeping these cars on the road.
Yeah.
And they're cutting our support. So obviously we're just developing our own ranges alongside what they offer. And hopefully we'll keep the cars on the road,
which is what we want. Yeah.
So yeah. So that's it. That's the we never stop. There's literally hundreds of projects in development now. Some of them will take weeks. Some of them will take months.
And
Some of them will take years. Yeah, that's how it is. But there's always every week there's something coming off the assembly line. So, there you go. It's fun. It's not boring.
No, so it's good fun, isn't it? When you're passionate about the cars and the brands and all that, like you have, and it's fantastic to see that as well.
Yeah. Well, anyway, there you go.
No, thank you very much.